Hey guys, how are you doing? Let me just put you a little hole in here. Get you sort of line, see what you can see. Get the PP. Check for spiders. There's a bunch of spiders in here yesterday when I put it on. It scared the shit out of me. They can nest anywhere. Okay. Here, take this off while I'm talking. So we'll be doing this today. Decided to give live streaming a try. Never really tried it, but I mean, nobody's here, so it doesn't matter anyways. But yeah, so I rough shaped this yesterday. Had to let the glue fully set, but we'll be turning this hopefully into a complete knife by the end of the stream. We'll see. Belt's okay. Let's see if I can. Right outside. Yeah. It will get loud and dusty. Doing, buddy? Hold on. This PB, man. This, hopefully I'm gonna be bringing these sides. This is way too thick right now, so I started with a big chunk of wood, but this is gonna be thinned out. This is a knife. Will be a knife. Moro 106 blank. But yeah, I got some meat to remove here, and then I'm gonna make it a little more round, like basically turn it into hexagon. You'll see. I'll go step by step. How's it going, Joey? Wow, 11 people already. Holy shit! People watch this stuff? Yeah. All right. All right. I am building a knife. Doing a Moro 106. Was a blank yesterday. I'm gonna change my belt out because this one's okay, but I mean, if I'm doing a live stream, I might as well make it go faster, right? I don't want to waste all your time. Get a fresh belt. I should probably find a way. Sorry, this is my first live stream. Find a way for you guys for me to read the comments to me. Is that possible? I'll figure it out later, but So I got my earphone in, but I was hoping it would like ping me to tell me if people are commenting or whatever. But I guess I will figure that out later. Unless you guys can type it in and tell me how to do it. I'm on the YouTube app, but I usually just record my videos separately and then uh, just upload them. I don't edit anything. But yeah, so it's got to be thin. When you're doing brass and things like this, be careful because they get real hot real fast. You could burn yourself when you're grinding up on one side. I'm always taking time to check down the back, make sure that I'm not getting all cattywampus. And as I get closer to the final shape, I'll be taking this tape off and making sure that the blade, because I'm pretty sure it's straight, like that's the knife edge of the blade there. But with, well, I got like 6 layers of tape on here, so sometimes it could be just a little left or right, and I need to fix that near the end. So. Anyways, back to loud noises. Nothing like a new belt, man. That's cutting so much faster. So I'm just at the point where I'm just kissing the brass right there. Starting to take some brass off there. I'm getting close to the width I want, but it's still, if you look down, you can kind of see this side's a little raised up. You're constantly like modifying it as you go, because this is not, this belt, this whole setup is dirt cheap Princess Auto thing. Nothing is square, nothing is, the platter is starting to wear out. But yeah, so I can't really rely on my tools for everything to be square, so I have to constantly check. So yeah, I'm gonna bring this deeper in. I want to go right, almost right up to the blade right there, and then the back, and that's gonna be a rounded back with a flat bottom. Doing anything else? Probably. Maybe, I don't know, maybe go to the beach later. Take a shower after this. Cook dinner for the family. But nothing too exciting. Alright. Chunk of grass or something. Should be wearing my glasses, but it's hot out here. They fog up. Anyways. So right now, I got it to about the thickness, my preferred thickness of the center of my handle. So I'm going to bring these top edges in, and then I'm going to start gouging, just gouging these corners. And try to do all four at once. You don't want to lose your geometry, especially if you're not like, you kind of like free balling like I am. Yeah, there's one little raised spot I gotta get there, and then I'm gonna bring this top part in a lot tighter in, and then I'm gonna start gouging out the corners. You'll see. Message retracted. Hey buddy, say anything you want here. It's not that hard. It's like playing with Play-Doh, man. You just like shape it as you go. It does suck when you go too far, especially if I'm doing the flats here and I won't pay attention quite as much. I've like ruined a whole knife build by going just a little and then just kissing the. Even with tape, man, it doesn't take very long to go through that tape, and then the fucking. It's not ruined, but you gotta really sharpen that knife again. And gets rid of the nice factory edge, and these Moras have a super nice factory edge. You don't want to fuck that up. Take this part in right here. Target material. Doing that code. That is one thing you do really want to be careful about too. Even really high-end epoxies. I'm using my phone right now, just a Galaxy S23 FE or something, front-facing camera. But the brass, it can retain heat, and it gets hot real fast. So you're working on this end, this end will get hot in no time. It's way transfers heat way better than like steel or something. And yeah, if you're always make your epoxy cure overnight if you're going to be like hogging out like lots of material like that on brass, because it's super easy to destroy the epoxy, especially if it's not fully cured. It's a lot stronger when it's been fully cured. Canada, buddy. Although I wish I could visit the U.S. one day. There are quite a few places I've wanted to check out, but I've been to Niagara Falls, U.S. just one day. I took my motorcycle out there when I was younger, but I definitely preferred the. Yeah, I live Ontario. Yeah. Musewell. Ontario rocks. Land of the lakes, buddy. I'm a fisherman, so. Excuse me. Oh, Quebec. Fuck, I love that place, man. Yeah, that place is great. I do wish I remembered more of my French from school, though, because that'd be, bonjour! Oh, all my family's French. Shawn Pepin. But I lost a lot of that. I didn't practice enough. I learned music instead. Alright, so now I'm going to start the corners. And this is probably the harder part, because especially when you're hogging out corners on brass, it's going to get real hot really fast, and the wood is going to be a lot softer than the brass, so you're going to have to make sure that you put harder pressure, or if you have medium pressure here, light pressure as you start transitioning to the wood. You'll kind of see how I finesse it. But this is the part where you can really fuck up the shape of the handle. If all goes well, you should have it roughly symmetrical. If you're putting the right amount of pressure, and then as I get to the more slack belt part, it'll forgive a lot of these these don't need to be exact angles you're dealing with here, but you just want to turning a square into a. Hey, how's it going? Did you knock? Okay. Sorry, I'm just recording a video. If I don't look nerdy enough already. Max, man! Did you try ringing the doorbell? That's right. The wood frame right there. Oh, I thought you were ringing the frame. No. Somebody will come. Oh, sorry guys. All right, so yeah. No, that's not plastic. This part, I'm guessing that's what you're talking about. That's tape covering me from the ouch zone. This is about it's yeah 106 more 106 blank, and these are fucking deathly sharp from the factory. Yeah, you don't want to even I wrap it like several times because I've went through just putting pressure on it like as I'm holding it sometimes. I've squeezed it enough to go through a couple layers of tape and cut myself while I've been doing work on the handle. Oh, that's bad. So I'm gonna have to come back a little more here. Oh, fucking bad. Looking pretty symmetrical on both sides. Have fun, guys. Need your bike?
What?
Need your bike?
Yes.
Cool. Oh god, I gotta give this brass a second to cool down. It's fucking piping. So, later, buddy.
Later.
Now, I'm going to cut the corners again, basically. Just keep going. Cut these corners, and then I'll get it to... what are you making? Yeah, carving knife. Mora 106 carving blade. And hopefully in the next, 20 minutes so far. In the next 20 minutes, this should be 90% there. If I don't have to stop and talk too much, but I definitely need to figure out a way for this to read stuff to me so I can just talk to you guys. Or know when somebody's talking. Because it's kind of dangerous working around a spinning machine like this and then looking at that. Look at this. Everything my shop teacher taught me when I was a kid is amateur custom fishing knife for cutting bait. I don't know, man. I do fillet knives. I have probably about 4 or 5 fillet knives built right now, and they range from 150 to 200 depending on the wood I use and the plank I use. I personally don't make the blades myself. The fishing fillet knives I use are from Lauren Metalli. They're a Finnish company. About $40 Canadian for the blade itself. So it's definitely a high-end blade. But yeah, if you ever want to check it out, I think further down in my shorts on my channel, I have a couple fillet knives that I put together, and I definitely still have a couple left. I probably did maybe 10 so far. Being from Canada, there's a lot of people who want fillet knives. new one out here. Let's grab this one. This one will be a job. So right now, I'm going to be moving from the flat part of the platen to the more slack part up here. Kind of gives you some play, and it allows you to make rounds a lot easier. I do wish I had a full, like maybe 6 to 8 inch slack belt portion, but you get what you get for, I think this is $130 from Princess Auto for this thing, and belts are nicely cheap too. I think $10 for 3 belts, which is very reasonably priced, considering I can just go down the street and get them, because I hate having to order belts and not knowing how good they are. I do want to eventually get up to a nice 2x72 belt bench grinder. Not quite there yet, though. We'll put that in the on deck. All right. We're going to start rounding it out. Hello, broken pastry. And as you can see, what I'm doing there is you never want to, especially when you get into your final shape, you want to be very gingered, especially when you're working with multi-materials like that. If you're pushing on brass and wood, it's good, and then you'll move to the wood as you're like feathering, and you'll push the same pressure on the wood as we're doing on the brass and wood, and then you just take a big gouge out. So I usually switch to a fresh 120 belt when I get this close, but I don't want to burn the material or anything, and I kind of want to get this done a little quicker. So these kinds of curves are fairly easy to do without gouging material, but when you get to the flat parts like this, you have to really ginger and not push too hard, because it's really easy to like accidentally like concave this out. I can't believe that people are actually watching me. I know it's not a lot, but it's nice to see you guys. Starting to look like a knife, eh? Getting there. man, I love how this wenge, the kind of oblong circles that come out in it. It's a great wood for knife handles too. It gives you such a good texture when it's done. But fuck, something as you're going along, you always want to just keep checking. You never want to go too far without stopping, especially when you're working with brass. You got to let the brass cool down anyways. So take that as an opportunity to look down. Show you what I look at, what I look down. That I follow that back over, and I'm always looking for parts that are raised or not symmetrical with the other side. It's a lot harder to do sometimes. Something you can see right there. Focus, you fuck. This side is a lot more bulbousy than this side. So you gotta always just keep looking, keep checking. So I'm gonna need to take some more meat off of this chunk right here to kind of even it out with this chunk. And then I think I'm going to switch to my 120, so I'm not hogging off as much material. And after I'm done shaping the handle, I will be peening that little bitty bit of metal. That'll be enough to flatten out and hold everything on. Mechanical fastener. So, I'm at a point where I get pretty happy with the general shape of it. Ah, fucking hot brass, man. Every time it gets me. I'm gonna peel this off. Swap this tape out because this tape was from the glue up. And I have a feeling there will be some glue I need to clean out underneath it. I do my gloves upside down, so I'll have it on my bench vise. I'll put the glue up in, and then, especially on hot days, this stuff's pretty thin, so it actually, like, it can leak out the bolster. I prefer that. I would rather have a little bit of glue leak out as as it sets, and then that plugs that. Like, if I have any play in the brass, because my bolsters I make myself too, so I just cut brass and then I'll file out the tang hole, And as I file, I'm not perfect. I definitely, sometimes the hole is a little bit bigger than the tang of the blade, and there's a little gap, and I'd rather have that gap be filled with epoxy. And I'll show you as I get this tape off. I might just cut it off. I don't want to scratch. There you go. Scratch this blade up. Has anybody seen the new King of the Hill? That's a great show. I forgot how good it was. People. Hey, what? The Alien one. I watched that Alien show last night. I fell asleep during the second episode. It sounded crazy as I was falling asleep, but that first episode was good. Alien Earth, I think it's called. Tip of the blade is out. Fuck this, I'm just gonna cut some of this. Okay, she's coming. Down, and then there were 3. Is this something you guys like watching? Is this fun for you? I don't know if, I don't know how much I'm gonna do it, but alright. So yeah, eventually I'll be cutting that glue away, but that's still, just looking at taking that blade off, that's too chunky still. I'm gonna need to take a nice bit off the back, but as far as straight, everything looks pretty straight. This side definitely needs more meat off of it, but nothing crazy about this so far. As far as the way I want it to go, like it's going the way I want it to go. All right, but I'm gonna leave my 80 grit belt back on there because I'm gonna have to hog away a bit more material, especially if you look this side a little bit bigger than this side, and I want this, like I like to have the back of my carving blades just almost touch the brass bolster. So this is still about 1 millimeter too tall on top and the bottom, and that's one of the harder parts, is when you're sanding this part to not kiss the bottom of that blade there. That can give you a bad time. But man, those Mora 106 blanks for a carving blade, they're quite a little dangerous shiv, man. That I would not want to be on the receiving end of that. See, another one. Be careful with these. If you order blanks, check them before you get, because this is the second one I've had where they're finished nicely, but the tips are just so fine that they break in shipping. That one's not very broken. Still a pretty fine tip, but there's definitely, it's missing just the very, very tip of that blade. That's what you get when your Amazon driver starts launching your shit all over his back of his truck. Did I bring tape with me? Yeah, I did. So yeah, anybody watching anything cool? Anybody doing anything cool? I've been catching up on old King of the Hill, as well as watching new King of the Hill. Don't be shy with this tape either, guys. As you see, it just sliced right through that. You want a couple layers at least, especially if you're dealing with a Mora blank. The Lord Metalli blanks, they're like some of them can be deadly sharp, but they're not consistently sharp like more blanks are. Although I've had some bad experiences with some more, not the finishing, it's they tend to heat the blade up, or they're hogging them through their, so you need to like almost cut, like sharpen them a couple times to get through the steel that they softened when they're coming out of the factory. Nothing like thinking you got a shit knife and it was just needs a couple sharpenings. Oh, my glasses. How's the weather where you guys are? It's beautiful today. It's 29, 28 degrees Celsius. This is probably the upper limits of heat for me. Sometimes it gets up to like 35 in the summers here. I don't know what that is in the American units, but it's fucking hot. I like the median seasons. Spring, fall. Those are my happy ones. I could be outside as a large man and not be sweating my butt off. Don't worry about it, buddy. If you like watching, video is a universal language. Nice to see you, Santiago. Oh, 49 minutes. This is taking way longer than shit. Alright. So I finally got that to a decent shape for that bolster. Nice and dainty. Enough thumb movement, enough thumb area there to index yourself properly. Give you a little bit of extra grip. So I'm going to be switching to 120 belt right now. Tempted to go get a fresh one because this one feels like it's had a bit of time, but I don't feel like going out of my shed. Thought I had a couple extras out here. Oh, no, that's a 120. All 60 grip. That's okay though. I go through a lot more 60 grit than I do 120. When you're hogging that material out, getting that brass shape, you want to use the higher grits. Less heat, less time. And I have, as you can see, I have trouble getting our belts. I have probably like 30 down there. But they're still good for something. Even a broken in belt is very useful. I find a broken in 60 grit acts probably like a 90, in between an 80 and a 90 grit, or 80 and 100 or 90. And then a broken in, like this is a broken in 120, and this probably feels closer to like a 200. But I gotta go get some more 120s. Always wear your PPE, especially if you're working with acids and weird exotic woods. Some of these exotic woods can have some pretty detrimental effects on your lungs, the dust. Obviously, I still have lots of dust on the machine, but try to mitigate it as best as possible. And brass, you'd be surprised. There's lead and shit. Like, brass is not pure. You can be inhaling fucking particulates of brassy lead. Yeah, I would like to find a supplier of nice brass that 100% doesn't have any lead in it, but I don't want to get that yet. Guess I'll figure it out. But right now we're moving on to the last bit, polishing and, well, final shaping, cleaning up. I'll do the 120 belt, and then I usually do take it into my shop. I'm not sure if I'm going to do that right now, and I have some old slack 320 like belts like this. I'll clamp it into my clamp, and I'll hand roll it a little bit, just some hand, and then that'll blend in some of the areas as well as give it up to. I usually go up to about 300, 320 grit finish, because I find once you go past that, you start burnishing it, and the tongue oil that I use doesn't soak into the grade as well, especially if you're dealing with some of these already oily woods or hardwoods. Wenja's pretty good at treating, because as you can see it has there's some pretty big holes in it, I guess whatever the tubes are, that suck up the water in the wood, and yeah, it definitely sucks the oil up pretty good, but you don't want to go too high up into the polishing if you're going to be treating it with oil, because you will fill all those holes with sawdust, and then the oil won't be able to properly penetrate, and then it's not really sealed. Light pressure, light at the end. You don't want the last 50 minutes of your working the shit to give you a little bit of patience, ginger, and listen to it. I worked an hour of essentially for 2 good so far, guys. Alright, let's see what this looks like with the tape off. I usually don't have to take the tape off this many times, but because I'm dealing with such a dainty blade, tiny tolerance is easy to mess up. I want to make sure that I check it every once in a while so I don't go hog wild and take off too much material anywhere. Let's start over. My headset's getting out of batteries there. I have to go to regular phone. Oh, and we're down to 0. Back up to 1. Alright, let's see what it looks like so far. All those 10 people that just left are gonna miss the final reveal. Ooh, yeah, that's getting better. Okay. Let's sort of see what I'm going for here. I have the bottom of the blade. It's a nice sweep that hits here and goes parallel down here. And then I have this sweep up and it kind of follows it back and goes back around. I do that for quite a few of my blades. I like this shape. It looks very slick and it feels very good in the hand. The swell right here just fits right nicely into the palm of your hand. It allows you to have good idea of where your hand placement is too, because it has a taper here and it has different geometry from the back. Like these handles are usually barrel style handles, and I find I don't like handles that are 100% symmetrical because it's hard to figure out where your hand placement is. But this, I can turn this around and know exactly that it's backwards in my hand, even if I wasn't looking, because that swell just touches the front of your hand. So basically what I go for. So as of right now, this is mostly done shaping. Go back to the front at the beginning of the video, you'll see how much wood I just removed there. But I have to peen the bottom. I'm going to tape this off. Peen it nicely. Make sure there's mushrooms out good. Clean up all this glue and tape around here with a special plastic tool inside so it doesn't scratch the blade up too much. And then I'm going to hand sand it. Probably up to 320 grit and oil it. But as of right now, this machine work is mostly done, unless I get inside and on a second look find something a little cattywampus. But as of right now, this is... Oh, wait. It is not quite... Yeah, this part. So that's why I took the tape off, because I was looking at it, just off center there. So it looked perfect, but now when I'm flattening that blade out, I noticed that I need to take some more material off this side. It's not quite perfectly symmetrical, so I'm gonna lightly tape this blade up and be careful, because I still want to be able to index myself. I'm not gonna put quite the thick amount of tape I had on there before, but I definitely do not want to cut myself on this thing. They will bite you, and you might not even feel it. So yeah, I'm just gonna, this is risky here doing it like this, because I could nick it on the belt, take my edge off, or I can squeeze this a little too hard, and it'll cut right into my hand, right through the tape. That's why I usually have several rounds, but I really need to look at the back of that spine and be able to index exactly where I need to take material off. So it's almost done, guys. And if you're liking it, let me know. Type in the doobly-doo. I don't know if you guys are watching on phones or computers or whatever. Type something. Say hello. Alright, so yeah. That is perfectly perpendicular up and down, and there's a bulbousy area back here. more try. Looking good for you guys. Still a little party out there. So yeah. You're just attaching my drill press right now, but I think that's about done for the actual power work. It's right in enough tolerances where I can take this and hand sand the rest. You do not want to go. Let me just switch my Bluetooth. like I said, you do not want to go too far with machines because, especially when you're working with small handles like this, it's very easy to overdo it. But let's see if we can get find a little sexy once over, sort of see the work I've done. Take this tape off here. These lower blades are so nicely finished. You want to see it in all its glory. So yeah, there she is. I need to focus. No, maybe further back. I need to clean up all this tape. This is all a bunch of epoxy that I need to cut and get out of there. Go up to 320 grit, peen the bottom. Maybe a little bit of sanding sponge, because when you use a sanding sponge with this wenge wood, it'll actually dig into deeper to the softer parts of the wood and give you a good handle. Anyways, guys, hope you enjoyed doing this work with me. Have yourself a good one. Cheers.